So much of our lives is shaped by the rules we never choose. The rules about success, beauty, relationships, motherhood, even who we're supposed to be. My guest today has built an incredible career by asking two simple questions. Who made these rules in the first place? And how do you unlearn them? Drew Afualo is a two-time Time 100 creator, a New York Times best-selling author of Loud, and the host of the podcast The Comment Section and Two Idiot Girls. She's become one of the most influential voices of her generation by encouraging millions of people to question the stories they've been told about themselves. Today, we're talking about family, identity, ambition, love, and what happens when you stop living by other people's rules and start trusting your own voice. So, let's get into it. Baby, this is Keke Palmer, and baby, this is Drew Afualo. Today's episode is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, 7th Generation. I know I'm extra. They know I'm extra. We've made peace with it. But my cleaning products don't get to be extra. They get to work. 7th Generation keeps it simple, so I don't have to pretend otherwise. Let's get into today's show. I love the tooth gem. I say tooth gem, but you do have one couple. So.
I do.
You look fabulous and you smell so good.
Thank you. So do you.
Thanks, girl. Thank you. It's a little something, you know. How's the day been? Have you been busy?
Wonderful.
Okay.
No, you're my only thing today.
Oh, don't you
I have
just
to prioritize Miss Keke.
Yes!
Obviously.
And the first time that we met was during the One of Them Days press tour.
Yes! And you remembered, and I love that about you.
Of course I did.
Appreciate that about you.
Because it was fun. You know, during the junkets, it can be very boring and
Yes.
like, you were like actually bringing something unique and interesting.
Thank you. And go ahead and write that down. Thank you.
Okay, before I get into the conversation and my pre-show pull-up questions, I
Yes.
wanted to bring up something that I didn't know exactly how to feel about because I wasn't sure who stole whose look.
Oh my God. It's the same song.
And I'm actually, I feel that you have upstaged me. Like, I really love your pose. It's giving like Raven Simone, Taina.
Oh my
like,
God.
it lives like this is the show.
It's
Like,
the Spider-Man meme.
and it's this. Like,
Yeah.
I really just, so you kind of like ate me up, but it's cool. So
I think we both look beautiful.
To
And
hell
we're
with
both
that.
Virgos. So it works out.
Wait a minute, girl. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
August or September?
September.
September early or?
I'm September 18th.
Okay,
Yeah.
one of my best friends growing up, Taylor Parks, she's September 16th. I
Oh,
love me
period.
Virgo down.
That's Nick Jonas's birthday.
Oh, really?
And I only know that because I was a huge Jonas Brother girl.
Well, guess what, girl? I just started working recently with Joe Jonas.
Oh, nice.
He is fine. I don't think I like thought it before. Like
Right.
it just didn't come into my mind.
Right.
You know what
It
I'm
wasn't
saying?
something in your- yeah.
Last time I thought about the Jonas Brothers was year 3000. We was on a Jingle Jam tour.
Right.
You know? But when I
Yes.
saw him, I said, I see what's going on.
Yeah, I get it now.
I get the Jonas
understand
Brothers.
it now.
I understand it. Okay, so Virgo City, I already know that's your sign.
Yes.
Do you know your big three?
I do, actually. I'm a Virgo sun, Cancer moon, Sagittarius rising.
Wait a minute. No. Because somebody, when we came up in here,
Yes.
they were like, you guys are like so similar. Da, 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 da.
Yes.
I'm a Cancer rising and a Sagittarius moon.
Oh my God. I'm going to pull up my face and it's going to be your face underneath my face.
That's crazy. Like, wait, remember Men in Black?
Yeah.
Girl, literally.
The substance. I'm going to have to absorb you. That's what's going to have to happen.
That is absolutely insane that we're the same person. Also,
Yes.
randomly, we're the same person as also Kevin Hart and also Drewski.
That's
They all have
weird.
that same big three in some
And me
type
and
of
Drewski have the
combination.
same name. Imagine my name was Drewski and I
Please.
shortened it to Drew. For the stage name.
Girl, I know you have Pili dying laughing, okay?
Yes,
Because
obviously.
girl. Okay, speaking of, what is your love language?
I think my love language is my main one I would say is acts of service. Like to receive, I would say acts of service. To give, I would say acts of service or like gifts. I'm a big gift girl.
Oh my God.
I just feel
that's
like
so
I can
sweet.
nail a gift for anyone.
That's really a skill because for me, I feel like I just always just try to, I'm that grandmama that's like $20 in there. Because I want you to just buy what you want because I
Right.
get wrapped up in the whole, like, what is a good gift for someone?
Right.
So that is a very good skill that you have. What is something your friends roast you for, if they roast you for anything?
Being late.
Oh, girl.
Yeah,
me
that's
too.
probably the least Virgo thing about me.
But why is Virgos, are we so organized but late all
I
the
know.
time?
I think it's because when I show up ready to go.
Girl.
So I don't need to worry about the time. Time is a construct. The party starts when I get there, so
And you
it's fine.
see you nailed that. and honestly, wouldn't it be too eager to be right on time?
That's what
I don't
I'm
know.
saying.
Just a guess.
We're over planning at that point. I'm anticipating the vibes.
What is one movie? I think I know what you're going to say just because of my research, but what is one movie you could watch over and over again?
Ooh, I have a few. Probably The Heat.
Oh, The Heat.
The Heat with
and that's
Melissa
a newer
McCarthy
one.
and Sandra
Yeah, that's
Bullock.
a newer one. I thought you were going to say The Wedding Singer.
The Wedding Singer is also
'Cause I
one
know
of my
you
favorite
love that.
movies of all time. That is true.
Yes.
And it has Drew Barrymore in it, who I was named after.
You
So,
actually named it. What? Your
Yes.
parents have incredible taste.
I agree.
Drew Barrymore is my girl. Favorite Drew Barrymore movie, if you have one?
Oh, my favorite Drew Barrymore movie?
I have mine already in my head.
What's yours? What's yours?
Never Been Kissed.
I was going to say Never Been Kissed. Oh, my God. I was literally going to say that.
Also, slightly controversial in today's
Very,
day.
very, very
You was in
problematic.
high school messing with your teacher?
Yeah, very problematic and weird. But unfortunately, I
in
love
the
it.
movie world, we loved it.
Yes,
I loved Drew Barrymore.
For the time, it's perfect.
Exactly, yes. Now, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Santa Ana, California, like Orange County.
Okay, cool. I was going to just start talking about your parents because our parents are kind of similar. You grew
Really?
up in kind of a not what I would say is not as traditional, but today I feel like it's more common where your
Yes.
mom was the breadwinner
Yes.
and your dad, who played in the NFL,
Yes.
was kind of more stay at home.
Yes.
Yeah, as I started working in the industry, that kind of is like how my family fell into.
Oh,
how was it
nice.
like growing up that way for you?
Honestly, for me, it didn't look any different to me than other people's families. Like it to me was just like both my parents work hard, but my mom makes more money than my dad. So my dad's dream has always been to be like a stay-at-home dad.
Yes.
Because my dad hates other people but loves his children. So he
Period.
would love to be a dad. Like he was like, I don't need to talk to anyone. I'd rather be at home.
Yeah.
So my dad has always never had any ego about that. My mom has always been like a go-getter. My mom is the most like motivated woman on planet Earth. So that to me, the dynamic was so normal to me. Which is why, like, my parents had kids before they got married. They were together for a very long time before they got married. So I think it kind of formulated my opinion and view on, like, relationships, on, like, love, romance, like, contribution, partnership. What all
I
that
feel the
means.
same exact way because I always saw it as equal. Even before I started performing and my mom ended up being the one that was on the road with me most of the time. They would switch up often, but my dad would often be the one that was with my brothers and my sisters. He was sewing. He was making sure we ate good food. My mom's food is terrible, way too salty. I didn't realize that these were things that people attributed to certain genders.
No,
And
same.
I think it was a bit of a shock to me when I started getting into the dating world. I'm like, why is everything so tit for tat?
Yeah, same.
50-50. And like, what if you only got 5 today? You know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to be a partnership. And so I think it's like, I feel really lucky that we've had that experience. But it is interesting how we're now, I feel like, even though that concept is more common now and we're in this modern era where we're, people can be whatever they want with their identity. We're talking about all these things and breaking down concepts. There's also still this big push towards traditionalism in this way that can sometimes feel stifling.
Yeah, and it's very ironic to me too because like you said, it feels like so back in the day misogyny. I always call it like Mad Men misogyny. Because the era that was made in, that makes sense. You're very misogynistic at this time. Obviously, look at you guys drink whiskey at 9 a.m. So obviously you have different problems.
And giving them wives all that coke with real coke in it.
Right, for real.
You thought we forgot.
Like you're hiring women based off breast size. So yeah, obviously at that time that makes sense. But now I think it just depends. Like when women start succeeding and becoming more prominent, like, and then they start talking actively about how romantic love does not need to be more important than platonic love. You can wait for partnership. You actually don't need men to do literally anything in the world anymore, including have children.
Yeah.
So you can choose to be with them. It's not obligatory anymore. It's a choice. And so I think that's the time when it starts to get ironic and confusing to me when there's pushback online, especially.
Well, imagine, in my mind, I would think as a guy, I'm not a man, you know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I would think, whew, good, come over here and help me with some of this. That's what I would think, because it's like for so long, gender was defined by you having to hold, in my opinion, way too much. Like the patriarchy
contribution
is screwing you. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Because it's like, why should one human being have to be all of these things?
Yeah.
So in my mind, I would imagine that the concept of feminism or just equal, contribution across genders would actually be a relief
you would think.
to the male species. I've always wondered that because but I do feel like since we've talked about this more and, again, women getting in positions of power. We even had Kamala Harris running for the president. Like, when was that happening?
Right.
When we see those things, it does end up seeming like now it's a bigger push to go backwards. And I don't know. I don't know. You talk about it a lot. I think about it a lot. I experience this a lot.
Yeah.
I wonder how we can just no more drama between us. Like, how can we,
this.
What do we, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can we get together? Especially like we're podcast hosts.
Yeah.
We're, in the public eye and like community driven. Like, I really do wish there was a way to change that conversation.
Yeah, and to move forward. Yeah, I think there's far more people in the middle than there are on very opposing sides, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of people in the middle who are torn because they're confused on certain things because they're getting mixed signals, I think, from media and from their upbringing and everything like that. So I think more than anything, I think it's focusing on the people who are like-minded and continuing to build community with them. And then eventually the community will grow so vast and so large that you won't be able to hear naysayers anymore and you won't be able to hear bigots anymore. I think it's more so focusing on the people who are like-minded as opposed to trying to change the minds of people who are not. Because there's more fence sitters than there are people who have made up their minds in a very bigoted, old-fashioned way, which I've said many times before. Like, the more common man that's awful is not a man who's like, get in the kitchen and make me a sandwich. Like, it's not that guy. The more common man is someone who's like, you're pretty funny for a girl. Yeah. That's the far more common man. That's misogyny. That's like roaches. I'm killing them. I'm slapping them. I'm killing every single one.
Like roaches being born again. Yeah. Roaches don't need a mate. You know that? I found that out about roaches.
And they can outlive like apocalypse and everything.
Literally, like
crazy.
It's really like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Well, you are proudly Samoan.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about growing up in your household, your culture. What are things that some of us that haven't had the opportunity to dive into the culture, we should know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, back to the original point about like our parents kind of emulating dynamics. Like Samoan culture at its genesis is matriarchal in many ways. So women hold a lot of power. Women are very influential in the family. Like their voices matter, their opinions matter. So that's the environment I was raised in, was a lot of women in power. Women make decisions like, if your dad says yes, that's fine. But like my mom has to say yes too for it to be for real.
That's how it is with black folks too. Big mama. Everybody know that big mama. I ain't cutting off my leg. Y'all know.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the environment I was like raised in, as well as like, I think a big part of it, which kind of ties into like how people found me, how they came to know me, was like humor and like making fun of each other. Roasting each other is like a huge part of it. Like getting raised with your cousins and being mean to each other is very, very
Playing
common.
the dozens can get really scary.
I'm telling you.
And people can start fighting in a minute.
And no, and that's why like sometimes when they're like, it never hurts your feelings when people say this, I'm like, you guys weren't raised in my family. You have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
You don't get it. You've never heard mean.
No, yes.
You don't know what that word means, mama. That's what I always think. So I think like that was a huge indicator of how I turned out to be this way, how I got funny, but also I think how I learned how to take a joke. Because I feel like a running joke when I was a kid, because I used to be very sensitive, obviously Cancer moon. So I'm extremely sensitive. And I used to not be able to take a joke. And my mom used to say things like, well, don't joke with her. She can't take a joke. No one tell her jokes anymore. She can't laugh. And that used to make me have FOMO. So then I was like, well, I do obviously want to be included. I just like don't want to be made fun of. But I can't make fun of others if I can't learn to laugh at myself. So I think that was like one of the biggest things I learned. And that's very cultural. And the laugh too is very cultural. Not exclusive to me. A lot of people think it's like they think it's for like the show, but I'm like, if you talk to any Samoan person, they cackle just like me.
And I want to learn how to say I'm saying Samoan wrong. I don't want to colonize.
You can say it that way. No, you said I don't want to be a colonizer.
I want to say it right. Someone.
I was like explaining to someone earlier that it's very like, kind of like, you know how Mexico, you say Mexico, but the proper pronunciation of it is Mexico. It's just like that. So you can say Samoan. If you're not Samoan, I don't expect you to know how to say it. But like, if you are Samoan, then you should say Samoan. So it's like Samoan.
Samoan.
There you go. Samoan.
Yes!
There you go.
Girl, you done brought me into it. Yes. I feel so embraced. Yeah. Well, you talked about growing up, but I'm curious because you are such a confident person. When did you grow into that? Like as a kid, were you always able to be loud, or was there a certain point in time that you remember where it was like, I'm coming into my own?
Honestly, it sounds so made up because of what I do for a living, but like I really have always been this way.
Period.
Like I have been this confident, and annoying. I honestly think it's gone down a little bit as I've gotten older. Like, I think it was worse. My hubris was a lot worse when I was younger with no merit whatsoever. I had no validation. I've just always been so confident that I am like the most awesome version of myself. And it's never been denigrating to others. Like in my
Come on, denigrating.
Yeah.
I love the vocab.
It's never been at the expense of others. It's always been like, I think I'm so unbelievably awesome and unique, and I think everybody's like that. That's how I've always thought. And I feel like you felt that way too.
That's that Sag energy. I'm so happy, and I want you to be too. And they're like, sit your ass down.
Yeah, and it's like, well, you're so yourself, and this is so applicable to you. Like, you're so yourself that people think it's like an act until they meet you, and you're like, no, this is just how I move. This is just how I exist. Like, I promise I've been this way forever. I feel the same way. So that's how I've always been. I feel like unbelievably borderline delusionally confident. And what's funny is, like, I was just saying this the other day on an interview, but like I said, I was a big Jonas Brother girl when I was like in middle school. So I remember thinking as a middle schooler, I'd be like, well, obviously he's going to like me, but like, am I going to like him? That's the real question. Like, I would like actually ask myself that question.
But I love that because that's esteem too.
I think so too.
You know what I mean? It's like confidence, but it's also like esteem and where I put myself, which is, again, I always wonder, are these things, and it's good to ask this because are these things that you're just born with? And if you are, then how do we teach ourselves to it? And whatever it might be, you know, being outgoing or being more disciplined, you know, how much of it can we actually nurture in ourselves?
That's a really great question. I feel like a big part of it for me, and it seems like I think it gets very like sometimes irritating to hear, but like I've really decolonized my brain in a lot of ways. And that includes most especially beauty standards. So it's like who I see and what I perceive to be beautiful, how I grew up. Like a perfect example I always use is fatness. Like I grew up around fat people. I've been surrounded by fat people. I've been a fat person. So like for me, fatness has never taken away from anyone's beauty. Fatness has never prevented anyone in my life from getting married and having kids and being in love. That has never been the case. So, and even something like long hair, like I've always grown up loving long hair on men because in Samoan culture, like long hair is beautiful on men. It's masculine, right? It's very like good. It's very attractive, right? Yeah. So like and the same thing goes with body types for women. Like all the women in my culture are big and thick and strong and have a lot of muscle. Okay. So my perception of beauty, I think, was very different. And I think that's why I grew up so confident because I was like, what I was looking at looked like me. It wasn't until I started, you know, engaging in a lot of like Western American media that I started noticing huge differences in what people were attracted to. So like, for me, like, even, you know, they joke about white boy of the month and they're like, this is the new white boy of the month. Everybody's attracted to him. You ever see him and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's
but
like when People magazine is like, finest man of the year. You like,
you're like, no, for sure.
No shade.
No,
you know
for sure. For
like
sure.
Cute.
For someone, yes. Hey, every pot has its lid.
But not someone.
Yeah, every pot has its lid. You know, that's what I think, and I really, and even now
honestly,
I still have
I love what you're speaking to because it's just in general, we all have individual tastes.
Yes.
That's the thing. The idea that there's one standard of what any one of us would think is beautiful or sexy on any given day.
And it's always white. In like American media, it's always white. It's always thin. That's just never been my experience.
Always thin. That thin is coming back with a vengeance.
They're like, nah, I changed my mind.
Like, wow.
Yeah. I changed my mind. I hate fat people again. I changed my mind.
You cannot keep up. I cannot keep up.
I know, me either. That's why I think that's why I grew up really confident too. I think it was just what I was perceiving to be beautiful and attractive.
Community.
Yeah,
community.
It's been very different.
What we make ourselves open to is really big. I talk about this a lot with social media because sometimes it's like it's pretty much the wild, wild west. There's no curation around it.
No, totally.
So whatever and if there is any curation, it's all algorithm based. Yes. It's all, you know, sponsored based or whatever. You know, I don't know how everything works. But because of that, you don't really often see the communities that would encourage the way that you think or just support and empower the way you think. You're often being... Because people want to sell you stuff.
Yeah, you're being fed something.
Being fed the idea that you have less. Yes. And that you need more.
Yeah, exactly.
At what age or part in your life did you that you did become open to like, wait a minute, there's someone that wants something different than what I believe is awesome?
Yeah. I think it was probably around middle school, like later middle school, because I remember around that time, and I wrote about this in my book too, that that's when I started kind of noticing my body was different because I hit puberty in middle school, but I've been tall my whole life. So like when I was in 7th grade, I think I was like 5'5", 5'6".
Period.
Which is a little shocking and scary when you're a young woman.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, why are you 5'8" and you're 11? So that my dad is 6'6" though. So my dad's a big dude. My mom's 5'3". So there was a real 50-50 shot how big I was going to be. You know what I mean? My sister stopped growing at 5'4". I blew past her in middle school. And like in 1 year I grew 4 inches. So I went from like 5'4" to 5'8", and I was still in middle school. Horrifying.
You was sleeping.
Right. Yeah, so around, I was eating my greens. So around that time, I remember starting to notice my body was different. And like, I had brought it up to my mom. And I was like, sometimes I wish I looked like my friends on my soccer team, which were small white girls. And my mom was like, this is going to sound mean, but it's not. I don't mean it to be. You're never going to look like them.
Period.
But that's not a bad thing. You guys just look different. And one day you're really going to love like how big you are, like big, how tall you are. Mm-hmm. She's like, one day you're really going to love it. Like, it doesn't feel like that now. And I remember that was one of the few times I was feeling I was being caught by the insecurity.
Sure.
And I remember thinking, you don't know, like at the time. And then eventually, obviously, when I got older, she was right. Like now I love being tall, but like all throughout high school, I hated it. I hated how tall I was because I was always bigger than every boy ever. So whenever men tell me they're 6 feet and I can see your scalp, you're a liar.
Okay.
You're a liar.
And by the way, you're bald and boo.
Yeah, I was like, hey, and Forrest is thinning. I'd work on that. So
Exactly.
I've been big my whole life. So I think once I kind of accepted that was probably when I got out of high school. That was around the time.
I was always very raised with the you're never going to look like that or be like that. And I think that's actually where my confidence came from. Because if I have only one option and I'm being this, something happens in my mind where I'm a big reframer. When it's just like,
me too.
well, this is the best thing to be, clearly. You know?
Okay, well then lucky me.
Like lucky me, because if this is, how can I not love what I've got? I've got to love it. Like that doesn't seem like it computes in my mind.
Mean. You're so mean. That's exactly how I feel.
It's like there's no other way that it can be. Has there been a time with us saying this, I'm sure you probably feel the same way, that having that kind of personality or having that kind of mind, and look, we're not always like that. Like you just said, you had a conversation with your mom. I've had I have these moments, but do you ever feel like people lean on you a lot for that energy? And how do you help yourself regulate through that? Because I ask you because I feel that a lot, especially at this time of my life, where it's like, like I am this person and I love to be of service and I love that people can respond and engage with that. But sometimes I want to be just
unhappy too. Yeah.
I'm or in a corner or just not say anything.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a wonderful question. But yeah, I do. It does feel that way sometimes. I think especially the way that I built a platform, because it was like in addition to the confidence, it's also like tackling misogyny and white supremacy and patriarchy as a whole. And like, how do I like, find a man who's not terrible? And like that, I do have a lot of responsibility in that sense. Yes. And it does get heavy. Like, and I think that's why, when I started becoming like someone, like moving past TikTok and I, got the show and I wrote my book and everything. I think that's another reason. Thank you. I think it's another reason why I wanted to do the book too, was to give, people who love me and my fans like a more solidified like version of me.
Yes,
like
fully within context, nuance, not just these 5-second clips.
Exactly, like reference material. I was like saying on the press for it too that I was like, this is like a piece of my brain and my heart for you guys to take home and revisit every time you need it. Like you can revisit it, because relying on me is not realistic, obviously, especially if you're a fan of me. So I do feel that way too, though. Sometimes I'm sure you feel that way after you do the show. Like sometimes when I film the show, I need about 5 to 8 minutes of sitting in complete silence by myself.
Well, I think it's important that we talk about it because
so I get it.
That's the world that we live in, where there's a lot of stuff that's without context. People are seeing you, but only a part of you. And that part of you is very much you. But everybody has more range than just their number one thing. It's like, you got 5 love language. We got those first 2, but I got a couple other 3 in the back that you don't know about. You know what I mean? They're just not the first front-facing ones.
Right.
But because people always love the front-facing one of somebody with a big bubbly personality, sometimes that's the only one that gets love.
I agree. And I've expressed that before too. I think that's why the few times like I had to take a break a couple years ago. Yeah. Just for a couple months, like through the holidays, I just wanted to not post anything and I just wanted to be like off my phone because that was the first time in my career it started feeling like it was affecting how I see myself. Yes. And that is something I will not let them have. Like I was like, I've given so much and you have too. I have sacrificed so much in order to be this person for you, to be this person to you, to be perceived as this, which is wonderful and great and I'm thankful for. But the minute it starts making me see myself differently behind closed doors is the part I think the time when I need to take a break.
Yeah.
So I stepped away for a couple months, which was really nice for me. It kind of helped me recalibrate.
Yes.
And start
and it was
looking
authentic.
Yes, exactly.
Which I think is like, every authenticity is not to me consistency without any movement. It's being real in every moment you have.
Right.
So, and that could be a range.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
so I love that and appreciate you for sharing that. And it works in the opposite way too, because like people don't never want to hear Mary J. Blige happy. We want her to be sad all the time so we can get
about those hits.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, it works many ways.
And that's true. And like for us too, like we are entertaining. So it's like if I'm not feeling great, I can't be as entertaining. I can't be as bubbly and awesome. And I think too, like a lot of it too sometimes was at the time I took my break was coming from like, you know, sometimes women are like, you know, how do I like do the same thing you're doing? I have been telling women forever, maybe they'll listen to me now that I'm talking to you, take it. Take it, bitch. If you want to do it, if you want to fight men, please, by all means, take it. I don't need it anymore. Hey, I got the championship belt. Who else wants it? Okay, does anyone want to share? Come take it, mama. I really don't care.
Come take it, mama.
I was like, you take it and
Girl,
you will bring it back to my doorstep in a day because dealing with men at that level is awful. And I really do think that God and the universe has given me the invisible armor in order for me to be able to do it. It is really terrible.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's get into these comments in this comment section.
Yes.
Baby, this is Keke Palmer, yeah.
I am, by every definition, a lot. My outfits are a moment. My reactions are gig. I've been called dramatic in 3 different group chats this week alone, and every single time I said, correct. That's just who I am. And honestly, I've made peace with it. But somewhere along the way, I learned there's a difference between extra where it counts and extra where it's just showing off. And my old cleaning products were absolutely showing off and doing more to cover up than to actually clean. Girl, sit down. So I switched to 7th generation. Bio-based cleaning power that handles the job without the theatrics, plus no dyes, artificial fragrances, or bottles full of ingredients auditioning for a part they didn't get. It just works, and it doesn't need to announce itself while it's doing it. 7th generation provides a powerful clean without anything extra. So, if you already bring the extra to the function, make the switch today to 7th generation, a powerful clean without anything extra. My son Leo sees everything. I mean that literally. The kid misses nothing. Every detail, every person, every moment that most adults would walk right past, he is fully present for all of it. Traveling with him has genuinely changed the way I move through the world because he reminds me to actually be in it. And what I've learned from traveling with Leo is that the best trips aren't about where you go. They're about what you're dropped into when you get there. A neighborhood that has character, a home that has a backyard and a kitchen and a living room big enough to actually live in. A super host who points you toward the coffee shop and the park and the spot that doesn't have a sign but absolutely should. When I book a stay on Airbnb, for us, it's not just finding a place. I'm building the world he gets to explore for those few days. And watching him explore it, that's the best part. This is Leo's summer. Find a home on Airbnb and build that world for your kids. There was a summer where I was 11 years old on a movie set learning 100 lines and somehow still having the time of my life. Because that's the thing about being a kid. You don't need the conditions to be perfect. You just need to be present, free, and completely unbothered by what comes next. I've been chasing that feeling ever since. The blended pink energy drink is how I find it now. Strawberry, acai, real strawberry pieces, coconut milk, completely blended and frozen and so good, it's irresistible. The second it's in my hand, whatever is on my schedule can wait. Leo and I are going outside, honey. We have lines to forget and nothing to do. Little Keke will be satisfied. Trust me on that. Unlock your best summer memories with the blended pink energy drink from Starbucks. Available now. Order now on the app or find it in starbucks.com. Take me through when you were like, oh yeah, this is just me doing this. And then to, I'm getting real rabid feedback.
Yeah, for real.
And how do I keep going forward with this?
Yeah, I mean, it was probably around like when I first blew up on TikTok and I started, like the very first video I ever had go viral was like very specific red flags in men, which kind of just put me on the path. Like that put me on the path of men being the subject of ridicule.
Now, did you always have an idea of being? I know you actually did, right? You wanted to do sports, sports journalism when you were younger. That dream moved, so you always had the kind of in front of the camera vibe.
Yes, I learned how to talk on camera. I learned how to like edit videos, lighting, camera work, all that kind of stuff, editing. So I learned all that in college because that was what I wanted to do.
Yes.
And I honestly really wanted to be like more in the entertainment side of things, but I just didn't think it was an option for myself because I didn't see anyone who looked like me outside of The Rock.
Right.
So, big bald guys taken.
Don't
with try to get that.
Stuff.
It's taken. For real. So like I went the sports route because I figured like maybe I could get on camera that way. Got fired. COVID hit, and then I started making TikToks. And like when I started making TikToks, at first I was talking about like my own relationship. I was talking about dating. And then I saw like that specific red flags in men video. I just made a whole list, put it behind me, just went to town. That was the first time I was like really making jokes about men. That one went super viral. That was my very first video to ever go viral. And then like, because I'm 30 now. So like at the time, I think I was like 24, 25. And I had been online before, but I had never experienced hate ever. So like
it's a doozy.
It is. And I was very like overwhelmed by it in the sense of just how much of it I was fielding. But at the same time, like I said, how I grew up, I thought everybody was having fun. I thought we were all joking and you guys want to tell jokes about looks. Let's. I'm actually really good at that. They all found out the hard way. I'm actually very good at that. So then that's how I started making videos. And I was like posting like 10 or 12 a day. Like I would get one awful comment. I would go look at what they looked like. I'd put the picture behind me. I'd go to town. And that was before I had handcuffs on me. Once they gave me that blue check mark, they put handcuffs on me, bitch. Like I was like, I can't do it anymore. They won't let me do it anymore. Like sometimes people ask me, how come you don't do them anymore? I can't. Now I'm a public person. Now they'll get mad at me. So
that is real. And I've had that a lot, especially when it comes to like reality TV or just conversations. That is a real thing. And it, in my opinion, it's like, you got to take it, correctly, because I don't want nobody to get dogpiled too damn crazy. You know what I mean? So that's like a real thing. A lot of people, sometimes they want you to have such great, big opinions, but it's like, if I have an opinion, I need to pull out the concept and the theme.
I have to think about consequences because it matters.
I cannot just attack that person because at some point, it's like somebody is just ready to call it.
And even before like that too, even at the beginning, and I'm proud of myself for doing it then, I was very strict about how I did it. So I was like, I'm only going to do it if I see them like actually physically say it themselves. I'm not taking requests because you can give me a request and I'll go look, but if I don't find anything, I'm not going to roast them publicly because for all I know, you could be lying to me. Because like sometimes people are like, can I hire you to make a video about my ex? No. The rate's too high. But
Cameo.
also
they want you to go to Cameo.
You know what's funny? I was doing cameos at the very beginning. And then I started getting them when I started getting more popular. I started getting ones where men were like wanting to give me money to degrade them, like in a sexual way. And they like
not
I had
the dom energy.
I remember the very last one where this made me shut down my Cameo. I'm not even kidding. Because someone said, can you call me like a dirty little boy and tell me how bad I am? Not for $30. Off. Hey, off. Hey, I'm going to need 7 more zeros on the end of that. What are you, nuts? Yeah, not for $30. This is supposed to be for happy birthdays, bitch, not that.
That is a very interesting part of the fetish concept. Yeah, like really wanting somebody to kick you in your balls?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell it is.
Crazy.
But keep it away from me. I don't know what it is. Keep it away. I don't need it. Thank you. I rebuke. Thank you though.
That's so funny. She said for $30.
Yeah, they said not for $30. Hey, I'm gonna need a little bit more than that for that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it started off. This is how it started off.
Yes.
What do you think, or could you have predicted what it became? Right, like at some point you had to start thinking, okay, I got to turn. I'm getting more popular. I want to be responsible.
Right.
I know you probably didn't really think about being a role model or something like that.
No.
But at a certain point, you did decide to take it seriously as a responsibility. What did that look like?
I feel like at the beginning when I really started like hitting a stride as far as like growing, because when I was just making the videos, I was making $0.00. I was doing it purely for the love of the game alone.
Yeah.
I just found it really fun to make fun of them. And I loved that people were drawing a lot of power from it. I think it was when I started kind of giving more in-depth explanations as to why I react the way I do, why I respond to disrespect the way I do, bigotry. That was when it started feeling a little bit like more than just making fun of men. And I remember at one point I was growing so quickly and so fast, but I was not getting approached by anyone. Like there was no agents, coming to sign me. There was no, and it was, and for obvious reasons, right? Like the whole pitch about me was very like, I'm too controversial to sell. Like brands won't want to work with me because of the nature of my content. And I remember talking to my fiance about it at the time, and I was like, what if like people don't want to work with me like on a serious scale? Because I really do love doing this, and I'll keep doing this. Even if I make no money, I'll just, go back to normal job, normal work. Yeah. And he was like, well, would you want to work with someone that would find what you do controversial, because what you do is not controversial.
And this is the king.
This is my man.
Exactly, because he's talking right. Yeah. Because this is a big thing that I love that you're bringing this up, because look, it is important when you are building a brand and you're trying to make partnerships to make sure that there's a way that you can
be professional.
Yes, and there's a system of how things go. So you have to learning how to translate your language, your vibe, and your culture that there's literally no space for in a system to be able to work. Yeah. It's an amazing, incredible skill that every entrepreneur has to learn. However, they need to be the right partner for you to be doing all that collaborating with. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I love that your fiancé, Pili, am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes.
That's what he said.
Yeah,
He's on point.
Yeah, and he was like reminding me too, like it was important why I was doing it, like what I loved about doing it in the first place. And so I was like, okay, period. And then honestly, my agent now, one of my agents now, who's still my agent to this day, like she was the only person that really pursued me. And she really had to fight for me. Like she told him, I'm telling you, like she's going somewhere, like this is the girl. Like we have to like lock in with her. And now I'm with her and she's on her own now, which is amazing. But I really do think I'm like, the women are going to do it every time. And they're going to do it every time for me.
I feel this, I cannot tell you that I sat down and thought like, everybody needs to be a fierce bitch on my team. But when I tell you every bitch is fierce on my team, like
me too.
All of it is
Birds of a feather.
Come on, together. Eagles in the sky. Okay? I'm Bert. Girl, straight up. Yeah. Like every single, and it's like, it's just, it is, I just really live for a boss diva girl that's going to just do it.
I know. Every time they're going to get it done.
Multitasking abilities.
And they look beautiful while they do it.
Come on.
It's so period. And I really do think like
these ladies.
that kind of transition from that, like the mindset is where it shifted there. It was very like, okay. And then I think on a literal scale, I just got too big to ignore. Like I got to the point where I was so big that they had no choice but to try and figure out a way to work with me. Yeah. And now that I've proven it, now it's like a non-issue. But like, I think at the time I just had to get big enough that they were just like, okay, fine, we'll pay attention to you.
As my mom always says, the cream rises to the top.
Period.
She's always told me that at every stage of my career, when people was quiet, when I didn't know what was going on, consistency, keep doing you.
Yeah. And so, look at you, girl.
Come on,
period.
girl. Okay, so you've talked openly about imposter syndrome, and I think this is probably something that, again, we talk about people like us, our personality. People sometimes don't understand how the two things can exist. Yeah, how can you be having imposter syndrome but also be showing up and giving it your all type of thing? So when you were in the process of writing Loud, what were you how were you coming to sharing these realizations and how you were still somewhat succeeding even while living with carrying that?
Yeah, I think for Loud, it was like my editors were wonderful. And my main editor was like, I think the reason why he was able to push a little bit. Like I love, because obviously you're like me, like very convicted in path. Like I know where I'm going. I know how I'm going to get there. I know what I want to do. So you don't need to correct my path because I'm on the right path. I know that. But then sometimes I think what I struggle with is being vulnerable on a larger scale. Like, girl, so like it's pushing me to be a little bit more vulnerable. And I think that's why there were a couple stories in there. Like there's one where I talk about my decision to not have kids and why, and like how that catalyzed. And then also my sister coming out to me. And those were like really, really difficult things in my life that I had to like process and work through in therapy and then now have to write about and show the world. So I think in that I was getting a little nervous, and I think like subconsciously I wasn't fully committing. So my editor had a talk with me once in the process of writing where he was like, if you really want to put these stories in there, like take me there then. Like take me there in a way that's like comfortable for you, but like you really have to open up a little bit if you want me to see it and like believe it and walk in it with you. And so I think the gentle pushing of me opening up just a little bit more allowed me to kind of open up in a way that I still felt safe and I still felt protected, because obviously it's one of those where it's like once you put it out there, it's out there. And I don't really want to hear feedback. I just kind of want to tell you how I went through it. I don't really need feedback though. especially not on a personal life experience. I don't need
This isn't a reconciliation, it's a demonstration.
Yeah, go ahead and observe and nothing
will.
more. That's totally fine with me. And then I'm really glad I that he pushed me to that point, because I feel like those were two of the biggest things that people talked about in loving my book. Outside of the general like theme of it, which is like self-love and empowerment, those two stories I think really spoke to a lot of people, and I think it's because he got me to go there.
I
Which,
love it.
Sometimes men are helpful. So
Oh no.
sometimes.
And I have to ask, this might be a silly question, but
No, it's okay.
did you like the Rihanna album Loud?
Of course I did.
When I saw that out of my set, I'm like, is this a connection here? You know?
Maybe subconsciously.
Right. My favorite Rihanna album, though, 100% will always be Unapologetic. That's
Oh,
my
T.
favorite. That was just
Mine's
like,
anti, but
what?
period.
No.
That's a great one, though.
Like, why was she? Oh, I miss her.
I miss her, yeah.
Girl.
Please come back. We need her. Please
It's
come
like
back.
crazy. One of the chapters in Loud is It's Okay to Be Mean.
Yes.
And this is so huge for women because, like, you know, I don't even know why. Like, what we're often called mean for
Yeah.
is like, if we're
Anything.
different, if we're a guy, it would be like, boss.
Yeah, assertive.
Yeah. Like, so what do you know, how do you or how did you go about being comfortable with setting these boundaries for yourself?
I think it was a mix of trial and error, but I think more than anything, it was just me being so sure about how I deserve to be treated. Like, I was like, I know how I deserve to be treated, so this is not it. And I think we should change it. Like, that's how I felt very, like, young, at a very young age. But I think destigmatizing the word mean and, like, what it means to women is more important because it's, you know, like you said, like, women are often associated with mean if it's anything outside of what I want. It could be, it could not even really be mean, because what does mean even mean? Like,
Right,
at that point,
what's the context?
the word is so meaningless when you apply it to every single feeling. That's just not awesome. So, like, for women, only for women. Like, so I always tell people, like, I have, just like everyone else, the capacity to be mean. Everybody has the capacity to be mean, and everybody's mean looks different. So for me, I think when you reframe, like you were saying, you're a big fan of reframing.
Yeah.
What that even like looks like being mean, I think you can realize that a lot of times what they're talking about is just standing up for yourself. When you stand up, when you advocate for yourself, it's mean. Then I think what you really need to process, like, as a woman is like, I don't care if people call me mean. Like, I don't really give a because as long as you respect me, that's all I really care about.
Yeah.
Whether or not we like each other, we haven't even gotten to. But I think mutual respect should be understood between two consenting adults. I think that's, like, kind of just baseline. I offer that to everybody, so I expect it in return. If it's not given to me, then you're not getting it from me. Yes. And it's very simple to me. I feel like that's a very simple concept.
And I don't want to have to do it like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's like it gets to the point where people start playing a role, like, in order to not be called mean to get what they want, when it's like, we all saying the same thing, though. She just said it.
Yeah.
Like, why is that the only way for the
only way
gag to
you'll
go?
listen, right.
Yeah.
And I think
I don't
that's
want
why
to act like this.
Well, and I've talked about how, like, men are used, like, women are very used to considering others. Like, that is quite literally our job. Like, we've been taught that from the minute our eyes open. And men are used to being considered.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where it's like, no, you're going to consider me too. I'm going to consider you by force, and you're going to consider me by force then, if that's the case. And that's why it's like, I don't walk around just being mean to anyone, but if you are mean to me and you catch me on the wrong day, uh-oh.
And I'm just being true to myself, too.
Right.
Like, am I not allowed to be true to myself?
Right. Well, if you were rude to a man, he would perceive it as rude and he would deal with you accordingly. So the only difference really is gender expression. And at this point, what are we talking about?
Literally.
Yeah, like, it's all meaningless and stupid at that point. But I think that's why, like, I even, like, realized this the other day with a friend of mine. But, like, every interview, podcast I've ever done, like, with white people, they're the only people who ever ask me, do you ever feel like you're too mean? A person of color who interviews me has never, ever asked me that question. But white...
Kidding. No,
it wasn't on yours.
It really wasn't.
I know it wasn't. That's why I brought it up, because I saw it. And I know, you know why? Because that's not how you see me. And I think, like, even that again, like, I'm putting on my micro bang and my blue hair. It all ties back to white supremacy. It's true. Like, it all ties back because white people ask me that question because they genuinely think sometimes that I'm being mean. But I think you should unpack that. Why you think I'm being mean. If this was coming out of Drewski's face, I doubt you guys would think I was being mean.
Yeah.
You guys would think I'm being hilarious and funny only. But like women can see the funny part too, and they don't. I think sometimes they acknowledge the meanness, but that's just been conditioned in us.
Yeah.
So it's something that we can let go of as easily as we've been taught it. We can also let go of it. And it's just being told. Like, have you ever thought that maybe I'm not being mean?
And I also love what you were saying just about the idea around what being mean can sometimes be considered when it's just, I'm just forcing. It's almost like when somebody has an interesting name. You know, my name is Shawadavi.
Yeah.
And it's like, just because I've corrected you and said, my name is Shawadavi.
Yeah.
Ooh, she's fierce. And it's like, well, it's an expression of my culture, my background, my identity. And because I'm bringing that to the forefront and demanding that to be acknowledged, it is not something that has traditionally been reserved for people of color and definitely for women. Where it's like, I got to just let you call me
whatever Chelsea
now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you know my name is Shavadaza.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what's easy for you. And so when we do get, and this is what I do love, this is what I've loved about social media. This is what I loved back in the day when we was with Tom, HTML coding. Is you get to come into my space.
Exactly.
And so we either live in this world now where, everybody talking about it's quiet on the creek. You know what I'm saying? Don't even know what the creek is and why it's quiet. Because you done learned about somebody's corner of the world that you otherwise didn't know. Or you're seeing a corner and you can either take the approach of being just completely like, that's harsh or that's tough, as opposed to, I had no idea that was something that people was thinking about.
Exactly, consideration.
I didn't even know that this is what was going on in that part of the world or whatever in women's minds. Instead of being excited and curious, a lot of people are pushing back to stay kind of in the closed-mindedness, which is, and then it's like, this is mean. And it's like, no, I'm just really telling like how it is from my side.
Exactly. And I do think there's a difference between like advocating for yourself and like being rude. Obviously those are two very different things, but like what you perceive to be mean, that's why I named the chapter. In fact, I was trying to name that. Actually, that's not true. That was one of my second names for my book. I thought it's okay to be mean, but also...
It's a nice title for a book, too.
Yeah, I did want to... the other title I had was I'd Rather Die Alone, and my publisher was like, that's a little harsh. Like, they were like, let's lean a little more positive. I was like, whatever. Yeah, it's about loving yourself, obviously. Okay, fine. And it worked out. I'm glad with the time. I'm happy with the title.
Can't take a joke?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm also a comedian. But yeah, I think that reframing what that word even means and what it means to be mean and why it's only ever attached to women, I think is all ties back to the same center point. Yeah. Which is just unpacking internalized biases.
What do you think is the biggest misconception that people can have around the idea of dismantling the patriarchy?
Baby, this is Keke Palmer, yeah.
I've said it, I've heard it. We all know the saying, you need to go see that lady. And sometimes, we give an excuse. I'll deal with it later. It's probably too expensive. What if it doesn't help me? Meanwhile, we're still struggling and somebody's worried. But with some research, I found out about Rula. It's a real healthcare company. Sessions average about $15 with insurance, and they tell you that cost before you book. Providers are vetted, outcomes are tracked, and the majority of patients report genuinely feeling better. You can find someone who specializes in exactly what they're going through. Don't talk yourself out of therapy because you think it'll cost too much, won't work, or you have no idea where to even start. And trust me, that advice goes both ways. If you're ready to stop talking yourself out of finding care and making progress, then head to Rula.com. That's RULA.com. And take the first step. Dear Diary, I'm writing this down just to make sure I remember this feeling. It was one of those days that kept stacking things on top of each other until I almost forgot to stop. But once I got a blended pink energy drink in hand, something in my chest finally let go. Between the acai and the coconut milk with real strawberry pieces mixed into the frozen blend, and let me tell you, it tastes like the best possible version of today. Some days you just gotta admit, you can't fix everything. Some days you just find your moment, and today that was mine. Unlock your best summer memories with the blended pink energy drink from Starbucks. Order now on the app.
It just, I guess at the very bottom of it, it just means you hate men. I think that's like one of the biggest ones, which like there is space for that too. I do think like a lot of times I've said this before in interviews, but like when women say to me in a very convicted tone, like I hate all of them. I hate all men.
Yeah.
I don't ever correct her because there's clearly a reason why you feel that way. And the world is structured in a way to harm women. It has been for thousands of years. It's not new. Like misogyny and patriarchy is not new. But I think to have that very like almost superficial take of feminism as a whole, because my feminism is intersectional. So it includes every single person who identifies as a woman. It's not just cisgendered women that I believe in equal rights for. So I think it's a cheap summation of equal rights. And I think that the patriarchy as a whole harms everybody.
That's what I want
men.
to. I want to wake that tea up.
Including men. It's
hurts
very
men
harmful
too.
to men. So you would think that like working towards it with me like would help you in the long run, right? Yeah. But it's like I've said before, like when you speak to your oppressor, you have to speak in a language they understand. And a lot of times with men, it's violence, whether that's violence with words or physically. It takes all shapes and forms. It depends on the person. So I think unfortunately, that's just the way that they have to learn right now. I'm hopeful that won't be the case forever. But as of right now, I feel like that's the biggest misconception is just like, oh, you just hate men. And even if you do, you're still winning.
Yeah.
Hey, the world's still set up for you. No worries.
It's interesting because
Even
I've
if I
never
do.
really sat down and I never had thought of myself that way. But when I started getting on social media and I started sharing my ideas, and obviously my content is in a range of things, but I did start seeing like that I would get a lot of negative comments from men sometimes.
Yeah,
and I'm
and
like,
they
I think in my mind and myself, I think I'm being fair across the board. I love my
Yes.
daddy and all my uncles.
Right,
You know, and my
exactly.
son.
Right.
But it's interesting how just being sometimes the concept of just being yourself, being true,
Being
believing
confident,
that you,
yeah.
believing that you can do it all.
Yeah.
I remember one time I saw very obvious on a guy's face. He was just asking me if he could help me with something. And I was thinking to myself, no, I got it. You know,
Yeah.
like he was just so, you don't need help with anything. Like, well, no, I'm not, come on now.
Yeah, you're right. I don't.
I'm just trying to carry my own bag. You offended?
Yeah.
Because it's a very heavy bag. I got a lot of in here.
Also, you feel useless. That's not my fault.
Right. And it gets to
Hey.
a point, so it's like even when you think you're as a woman that you are being embracing just by
Right.
simply loving yourself, you are immediately
Right.
a feminist.
Yes,
And
and-
that immediately somehow means that you're trying to attack a man when you're just trying to love yourself. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to be good with me.
Well, and it's because it is a radical idea for women to love themselves in spite of what men think. And that is the patriarchy. Like it quite literally, it's such a radical idea to love yourself. Like that's another thing that I get a lot when I get hate from men and they say things like, well, I would never you.
Why would that be the
Okay,
insult? I
okay,
would never you.
yeah, that's what I was like, okay, me either. And then they get offended. When they call me ugly, I'm like, well, so are you. If we're just two ugly bitches fighting on the internet, just two ugly people going back and
That's
forth.
what I'm saying.
Maybe we have a lot in common. Maybe we're both two fuggos. Here we are.
You like me, period. That's what this is about.
And that is
you're
what
really mad because you like me. You really want me to like you back.
Yeah, and
so
it
now
is-
you're trying to fight with me like we two kids in a field.
And it is one of those things where what bothers, and this is like very applicable to a lot of like female pop stars too, and actresses, like women, how they're perceived by media at large. It's not like, and I'll use my friend Chapel as an example, right? It's not that it's not that you guys think Chapel is a bitch. It's that she doesn't care if you think she's a bitch. That's the part that bothers you.
Yes, you're
'Cause
talking
that's
about
the
on the whole fame
Exactly.
thing that was going on with her.
Well, and that bothers them about me as well. Like, it's not that I'm not bothered by what you say. That's part of it. But the bigger thing is, it's like, it's not affecting how I see myself. It's not affecting how I think about myself. And men are used to crippling women with things like fat and ugly. Like that's why that's the first thing they say when you upset them is like, well, you're ugly or you're fat. Even if you're not even talking about looks, that's like the first thing they think of to say to you, to be mean to you. And it's literally because they think women hold all of their worth and value in what they look like. So they think the meanest thing I could ever say to her is tell her that I do not find her sexually desirable. But there are women like you and I who could not give a less. I don't actually care.
I'm not going to be attracted to everybody. You get me? That's also just human. Like, it's
Yeah.
also just like, of course not everybody's going to find everybody attractive. Why would that be hurtful to me?
Well, also ugly, liar.
That's a
Please.
reach. You
Please.
reach to the stars.
Now you're lying to me and God. That's up. And he knows. So that's that's not cool. You're going to have to answer for that later.
Something else you're making me think of too with this is how do you feel, or what do you think the participation is of women that are possibly supporting the idea around patriarchy?
Oh, yeah,
Do you always get positive feedback from women, or do sometimes are they kind of also taking that side?
Oh yeah, I've had women
Really?
who and they're dealing with internalized misogyny, right? So they obviously they think I'm the problem, right? Like it's me, I'm the problem, like, and that I think is a search and a desperate reach for male validation, right? Because as women, cisgendered women especially, raised in patriarchy, you're taught that like a man's approval is what we're aiming for. That's the thing we should be striving towards. And I think that, I know it's a foreign concept to the two of us, but some women really do think that, even if it's subconscious. It's very strange to me, but I think I have a lot more.
Yes, because you're a woman.
Right. So you think, well, that's the thing is like,
I'm never going to be a man.
Cutting me in the line is not going to get you there faster. Like in terms of equality to men, because at the end of the day, you're still a bitch to them, just like me. And the only difference is I'm not putting up with it, but you're willing to put up with it. I'm not.
And girl, let's get real. Come, girl.
Yeah.
If we get together.
Yeah, Alexa, play Girl by Destiny's Child.
Then we as women are bringing women up.
Exactly.
If we're looking at the stock market, right?
Yeah.
There's the men's stock market. There's the women.
Yeah.
You need to invest in us.
I agree.
Because then it's not about trying to get this other side to just agree, but to actually, we don't need a handout. We need to meet eye to eye.
I agree. And I've said, when there's infighting between women, look how far ahead men get while we fight each other. They're distracting us. I was like, they're distracting us. We need to get back on the track. We need to get back on the track, girl. We need to focus on the real enemy.
Let's go back to the days we was watching Spice Girls and getting that big ass tour bus. I love that. That's what we need to be on, though. It's true, though.
I agree.
And it's not about, again, it's, I feel like this is a big thing on the internet where it's like the content and the idea is always based around what you hate. Let's get back to what we love.
Right.
I love us getting to get, like, girl, we can talk, let's talk. There's this girl that does this thing online where she's like, I want to talk about, Sephora and blah, 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 all the beauty products. Are the men gone? Last time that I knew. And it's like, I want us to have fun like that.
I
just
agree.
get to the things that make us happy and how we can support each other while we're dealing with all the things that, just make us mad and crazy.
Well, and it's also like, just women are just the best. Like, I know love is real because I've been loved by women. And I'm in love with a man right now currently. So trust me when I say the real love.
Which is so beautiful and amazing too, girl. I live for that.
Yes. Well, to be loved truly and in earnest, and I mean this very sincerely, is to be loved by women. Like, I like the warmth that you get from women, loving women. And even, this is not exclusive to me at all. I'm sure you've had very similar experiences. I've had very negative experiences in certain areas, like when I was in college or when I was working at the NFL with women above me. And even then, like, my point being, I have a lot of reasons to believe that women are against me and I could turn against women. But even then, I knew that is because of the patriarchy. You feel like there can only ever be one of us. And I don't think that's true. And I'm not going to let this build resentment towards other women for me, because women are truly like the lifeblood of everything in the universe.
I couldn't agree with you more. If I've ever had any problem in our feminine coven, it's only been from the idea of there can only be one, or this idea. And it's like,
that's influenced by patriarchy.
If that was the case, I'd be getting laid more. I'm not. You know what I mean?
So I know it's not true.
So I know it's like, girl, trust me. I'm just doing my job.
Right.
I'm just doing my job and I'm going. You know what I'm saying?
And I really do love women that dearly and that sincerely. And I think that's why they flock to me in a lot of ways. I think they can tell that I have a lot of deep love for women. And I feel like, even like, I've only ever felt this way about female artists too, but like, even, you ever watch someone like Beyonce?
Girl,
or like Rosalia, and then you think to myself, I think to myself, I know a higher power has to exist because this woman is created and no man deserves this. That's what I think every time. I'm like, no man deserves. Someone's going to be lucky enough to have you, but they do not deserve you, and I hope they know that.
I will never forget the time that I was in, and I always like Beyonce. Like, I feel like I was on the Destiny's Child train later, like with Soldier. I'm Need a Soldier. I came a little bit later, but then I was always like, Beyonce was always a real identity in my life in the background, even if I didn't know her newest first single.
Same.
But I remember when she was doing that for her first big Sasha Fierce tour.
Yeah.
I was in, what was one of the things? It was like Fry's or Best Buys. I'm up in there and they have them TVs on displays and everything, and it was playing that tour.
Yeah.
When I tell you that I stayed the whole time that my mama was in there shopping, right in the middle, watching Beyonce, and all I could think to myself was, how could she be so incredible?
I know, for real.
How could she be so thoughtful?
Yeah.
What I got from it actually was not just talented. What I thought was, She considered the audience.
For real.
She's so thoughtful in her performance.
For real.
She spent money on this outfit to look so seamless.
Mm-hmm.
The music is also a vibe that is encouraging me as a person. Like, it also is lifting me up. Like,
right, for real.
all I saw was the intentionality.
I agree.
And the attention to detail.
Mm-hmm.
And I had nothing but immense respect for it.
Same.
You know what I'm saying?
Me
And it's
getting
like,
chills while you're describing. I do not play about that girl. I do not
like
about
you're
her.
saying, like, some of these women really do just evoke
It's true.
that kind of response from you.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like
I
I,
agree.
said, Rihanna with the unapologetic. Like, come on, man.
And women are just like, it also too, on a business scale, like the female dollar is the most important dollar. They're the only people who decide what's popular, what trends, what does well. Men don't spend money on and men have notoriously bad taste.
But I'm the anti-hero.
Yeah, that's why I said, but let's focus on women and what they love.
Love her too.
Yeah.
Yeah, had to bring that in because she's killing it. You know, all the ladies of every background. Right. I love you all. You were named Time 100 Creators.
Yes.
How was that? That is a huge accomplishment.
Thank you.
The world's most influential digital voices.
Yes.
I mean, 2 years in a row.
Yes, that's true. 2 years.
Were you
in a row.
just completely?
Yeah, I know every new like accolade I get like that is always incredible and amazing, and I think it's indicative of like what really I think speaks to people. Like I said, like getting too big to ignore. Like there was a time when that never would have happened for me being in that magazine, and now it's happened 2 years in a row, which is incredible. It's amazing.
You had your boy The Rock on the comment section.
Yes!
That was insane.
My
please,
son.
you interviewed him for Moana. And you were so amazing in the interview. Like, please tell me about what that experience was. What, did you have a moment where you're like, make sure I'm just as bold as I always am. Don't be afraid. Go for it. Like, was there a conversation before then? Like, what was the process?
Oh, like he's okay. Well, my brother, The Rock, he's awesome. He keeps calling me sis. I'm like, you're like 20 years older than me. Okay, and sister, more likely. But he's wonderful. I've met him a few times, like hosting and seeing him at awards shows and everything like that. So getting him on the comment section has been like years in the making. So that was like a perfect timing for him to do it with the live action Moana and everything. And we went out to Hawaii to do it, which was amazing. And,
my gosh, come on, y'all was in
the motherland, the blood. I was like, the mana on this island is so powerful. So it was amazing. I loved him getting to talk to him, I think, on a level that was like very real and very like cultural. Like there was, I wanted to bring up culture a lot with him and how important it was to me that he has been continuing to be like one of the only, if not the only, like Samoan person to be as famous as he is and like be able to transcend culture. Like he's been doing it. And I was telling him too in the interview, like, it's crazy to see you. Like it's really hard being the first. And I just can't imagine being the first like you have been for 20 something years, like doing it alone and doing your damnedest to get us in every room and open doors for us. And it's, like the ripple effect of him is someone like me getting to come up and do stuff like this. So it was incredible. It was very like full circle for me. I've been chasing him for years. And like, honestly, I was like, it kind of works out that I'm like the only Samoan person on TikTok that people in America know of because you kind of have to come to me. It's like a metaphorical gun to the head, but hey, I'll take it.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love that. And it's so true. He's always been so embracing of his culture, which is why your black side has to come on, baby, this Keke Palmer.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I know you're a little black.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody named Dwayne not black. So get your ass over here. You did your Samoan side?
Yeah.
Now do your black side.
There you go.
I'll let you girl.
Yeah.
We got to talk about Pili because I think it's so, like, again, we were talking about all the kinds of things you talk about and you're just being, honestly, just sharing your truth. People think that they can make judgments about your lifestyle.
Yes.
Now, Pili, you've known since you were a kid.
In high school.
And how did y'all get back into y'all love story? Tell as little or as much as you want. I'm big about protecting people's privacy on their love life.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you. We met in high school, not high school sweethearts. I do say that all the time. We had a real enemies to lovers arc.
Period. We love it. That's like all the TV shows.
Yeah.
Sabrina Harvey or,
Yeah, and he's like one of those where he like, he has been handsome and athletic his whole life. And I've been handsome and athletic my whole life as well. Just, for the cameras, just for the note, me too. But he was very popular in high school and like did not struggle for female attention, obviously. He's looked like that his whole life, if you can believe it. So I think
Gotta
with me,
see his ass.
Yeah. Yeah,
Damn, girl.
he's very good looking. He's a very good looking man, and I'm not saying that to gas him. Trust me, I would say otherwise if so. But yeah, we met in high school. He actually asked me to prom, and I said no, and then I paid dearly for that later in the year. But and I think we reconnected after college because like we were both dating other people, like you know, kind of sampling in college and stuff.
Come on, sample, little taste.
Well,
here,
me
little
more than
taste
him,
there.
I'm sure. But yeah, so we were kind of like living our own lives, and then we were still friends and would get like lunch every now and then, like coworkers. It was nothing ever romantic. And then I stopped talking to him because I got annoyed about something that I still to this day can't remember, and I think that's even funnier.
Yeah, because I'm like, it
That's
wasn't real.
because I'm going to hold the grudge. I just don't remember what started it. I do know I'm mad at you, though. I know that much. So I was ignoring him, and then I moved back home after I graduated from school, and then he was like, he had been consistently hitting me up, be like, hey, like, are you home now? Like, we should get dinner or something, or we should get lunch. And I was like, man, this guy. Like, I was so annoyed. I was like holding the anger. I was so irritated. And then I remember I told my mom, I was like, he's hitting me up again. And my mom was like, well, he seems sorry. Because like one of the last things he sent me before
Why
I actually.
are moms so sweet? Like,
No,
girl,
for
stop.
real.
That's why
He's
your
not-
ass married. Talking about something. Why not? Honey.
Okay, miss, I've been together for 30 years.
Seriously.
You don't know anything. Yeah, no.
My mom. He loves you.
Yeah. And my mom was like, well, you know, like, why don't you go to lunch or something first? And then if he still sucks, at least you got a free meal. And I was like, you know what? That's
Love
why
to eat.
That's why they pay the big bucks around here. So I went, and then joke's on me, he got me. And like 9 years later, here we are. So that's when we kind of started dating.
9
like,
years later.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all locked in.
Yeah, girl. I was
Y'all
like,
are pretty much married already, by the way.
right.
The next year, you don't even need the wedding.
oh, yeah.
It is.
Well, that's kind of why I think even like online when I announced I got engaged 2 years ago, like we got engaged after dating for 7 years. So a lot of people were like, I mean, and by people I mean men who hate me, they were saying like he's never gonna propose, which I'm like, timelines are so not real. Like, I don't want to marry someone after a year. You're tripping. I have sweaters I wore a year ago that I'm like, what the hell was I thinking when I bought this thing? You think I'm going to commit to a man for the rest of my life if I don't know?
And also, like, what is this concept around outcomes and datings? I think
Right.
is really, really bad because
I agree.
sometimes you just have your time and you have your time.
Right, I agree.
Some marriage isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
And when it is for you, you will know.
Exactly.
And so I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, and I think that's indicative of my parents too. Like my parents did not feel the need to rush and get married. And for me, I'm like, I want to live together. I want to experience life together, like go through things together, like because it's really awesome to be a great partner when your life is awesome. But when you go through loss or you go through tragedy or you go through hardship, like how do you guys treat each other? How do you guys come back to each other? And I think that's why I was like never in a rush. I was like, I want to experience life with you and like together before I commit myself to someone for the rest of my life. Like, and so I think 7 years, it was like the perfect timing. We didn't even talk about getting engaged that year. I think we both just kind of knew. And then he did a great job, I'd say.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous. I had to learn to be cool with the vibes because my parents were super traditional on those.
Oh, yeah.
Met, dated for a year, got married the next year, been married. And so I kind of, grew up in Illinois. It's very traditional, Midwestern, all-American black folk vibe.
Yeah.
And so I had an idea of how things would be, but I've always just been my own, beating to my own drum.
Yeah.
So understanding that things will, first of all, career, friendships, all those things will be different for me was something that I really was like, and actually it should be different for me because I don't live the same lifestyle as my parents.
Right, that's true. Yeah, you're
it's
experiencing
important
something different.
I'm experiencing something totally different.
Yeah.
So love that. Okay. I have to say goodbye to you soon. But before I go, I want to play a game with you because I play one with all of my guests.
Yay!
Okay, so you obviously have great, amazing opinions, and you're not afraid to tell it like it is. So I'm going to throw out a few topics, and I just want your hottest takes.
Okay, cool.
Okay, first one. What's one dating trend you hope disappears forever?
One dating trend? Are they dating in trends now? I'm old.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Dating
Yeah.
trends, that's crazy. I don't even know if that's true.
Honestly, I would say, and I'll factor TikTok. I would say like going on the internet and recapping your date, like as soon as you get home. Like, I think that's fine, but like, those are things like for the group chat. Like, let it,
It has
unless
to be
it's
a date.
terrible.
I'm about to say, if it's terrible, then
And it's
cool.
funny, then
but
tell it.
the problem is, group chat and social media wise, let him cook or let her
let
cook
it-
or
yeah.
let them cook.
Let it sit for a bit.
Like first day, let
it
them
simmer.
cook.
Yeah.
Because you might like think about it back on and be like, honestly, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I think it's
You
like
know?
vlogging the entire thing.
People
is
in the
so-
comments, I don't really like that they.
Yeah. That's why, and it's like inviting opinion, and I think that can also
That can be dangerous.
inform your opinion. And I think there's like a real like, especially with COVID kids, I feel like there's a huge disconnect in dating, and I feel like everybody. Also, I would say too, to get rid of this idea that heartbreak is not going to happen, and you can avoid it. Like it's gonna happen. It's
There's always
natural.
that one girl. If you should have known by now.
Yeah.
I'm not a psychic, mama.
Well, and if I
God
could have
damn.
seen myself being devastated, don't you think I would have stopped it?
Like who
that's-
signs up for that? Who says who can't wait to get screwed over?
And you're talking to two Virgos who are psychic. So like
When I tell you,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I'm telling you I couldn't see it, then chances are no one could. And I think it's like
Girl.
to make peace with that so that you can feel brave and continuing to date.
This
I would
is so
love for them to
good.
get rid of that. Yeah.
love for
It's
them to
creating
get rid of
anxiety, I think, a lot about it. So
okay, what's one piece of relationship advice people need to stop giving?
people need to stop giving. I would say
You kind of said it a good one in the answer previous of just like, everything's gonna be, there's not gonna be any weird moments or
I would say like that you're not gonna have like the right person you would never argue with. That's not true.
Yeah.
Like your right person, like you will argue with them. You will have fights, you will have conflict. That's natural.
Yeah.
Because that's just human nature. That's just coexisting with another person. You naturally are going to bristle, but that doesn't mean
I love your words. Come on, bristle. Good vocabulary.
that doesn't mean that though that you're devastated, like it's doomed beyond belief. You're gonna have conflict even with the right person, but it's what kind of conflict and in what way. I wish women would stop advising other women to be so forgiving of really terrible things.
Yeah.
Because people make and also I would say that calling cheating a mistake, it's a choice, not a mistake. Cheating is a choice. Whether or not you regret it is specific to the person, but cheating is a choice. That is a choice that an adult is making. So, like, if they cheat, it's because they wanted to. It's not because it just happened.
Yeah.
They wanted to, and so they did.
Yeah.
So you should not be with cheaters.
And stand by what you did, because I ain't the police.
Exactly.
That's
I'm not a cop. I'm not a cop.
That's my big thing with anything in relationships. Like, tell me the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
Because what if I said, why didn't you invite me? I mean,
Now you're looking there. Now you're standing there looking dumb.
Right.
Yeah. Now you feel stupid.
You never know. Okay. What is the most delusional thing Love Island has convinced people is romantic, and what's one dating rule from the show that you'd keep in real life?
Oh my God, from Love Island, that godforsaken show. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'd be scared to talk about it.
They're lucky I didn't go over there and liberate those women. I would have unionized them. It would have looked like Yellow Jackets at the end. That's
Girl, that show is fierce.
Yeah, that's where women, when they're naked and covered in blood and worshiping under the moon, that's what they would have been doing if I was on that island.
Come
Trust
on,
and
we're
believe.
just going to sit in the line our periods.
Trust and believe. They would have been naked dancing under a moon and there would be no men alive. I promise you that. If I was there, that's what I would have done. I think like the worst trend out of that is I guess it's like this is so stupid and removed, but it's like it's like being like chosen. I guess like it I would say in the last couple seasons especially, it's been very like, oh, he chose me. That makes me feel like it makes me want to turn into a werewolf.
No, seriously. And the idea that because he didn't, it's so crazy and so horrible.
Right.
Maybe he got badass taste.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? Like, why we again, this goes back to what you were saying before, like, who cares? And I get there's only a few men on the island.
Yeah.
But send me home.
Yeah.
Send me, I don't care about, why you
Give me my
somewhere?
weed pen and I'm getting on the boat.
There
I'm
ain't
out.
no fine men.
I'm leaving.
The one I thought, the one I felt.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna work together and win the show.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, it should, if we're not locking in as like accomplices, then send me
if
home.
We can't at least be co-workers.
Yeah, like
yeah. Take me back.
Yeah. So I was like, send me home. It's okay. Vote me off. Just vote.
Literally.
Send me home.
Any dating things that you did like on there?
That
Even
I
all
did
that
like?
kissing's too much.
I know.
And
oh my
I love
God.
kissing.
Me
but
too.
Come on now.
But there was
With
a lot
hot
of
dog juice in our mouth and all this type of stuff. They got too much food going on with
Girl,
it.
they have that and my belly out the whole time. I'm in a 2-piece 24/7. I don't get to wear my 3XT not once. They wouldn't let me if I went on there.
Bad news for wigs.
I know.
Or anything that or just your hair. If you got curly hair. If you got
it's true.
Like everybody gotta be
that
like
humidity.
It's like I gotta just be bald head up over there.
Yeah, I would say that I did like out of it. I love when the men are really terrible and then women online get together and make some of the funniest content I've ever seen. Like when women are making memes and stuff of it, it's the funniest thing in the world to me.
Very
like,
funny.
I think that's because women are hilarious. So like I love that that's come out of it.
Yeah.
That like especially when they link up. But like I saw one clip where this guy said like I choose her because she puts me above herself all the time.
I know what you're talking about. And I was trying hard not to mention any names because I don't want nobody dogpiled and I hate how everybody get dragged and I don't want nobody coming out the villa needing to get mental health. So please don't drag nobody. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
When I saw that clip,
I would be devastated if somebody
that
gave me
were
that compliment.
me. If I'm sitting at the fire pit, like, and he says, I'm picking her because she puts me above herself. No, I don't. No, I don't.
The compliment
Pick
is
someone
about, you're
else.
complimenting me because I'm centering you. But that's the compliment for me.
God. Oh my God. The way I would be like, no.
And that's how she
please.
died.
Yeah.
Girl.
That's me telling Ariana, I'll be honest, Ariana, not feeling great. I didn't love that speech. I feel like he could have said other things about me, but no worries. Hey, no worries.
No, for real. For real. Okay, wait a minute. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
What is one green flag people don't appreciate enough?
Ooh.
I'm excited to hear what you're going to say. Oh my gosh, babe, I love this.
A green flag that is not appreciated enough. I'm trying to think. I'm like, what do men do that's like awesome? I'm only thinking about my man, obviously.
Well, share.
I would say if they have like special interests or interests that are like, I guess like so specific to them. So like I think that's something that's really sweet and like if fostered can be really beautiful. So like for example, when you look at my man, like you would have an idea of what you think he's like, obviously just based off perception. But like my man loves animals, like loves animals. But more specifically, he loves like sea creatures and like bugs, which is just so interesting and like why. Hey?
Take me into your world.
Yeah. So like asking him a lot about animals and like watching him explain to me like the behaviors and habitats of animals or like watching animal documentaries together. I think those are green flags that are really, really sweet. And I think a lot of really good men have interests that span things, and I guess like things that are not based in like masculinity. Mm-hmm. So like if you like sports, boring, right? Like it's like music, what kind? Like is it all like normal, like guy, like is it like that? Or is it something so interesting and so like unique? I've never known someone to love bugs the way that he loves bugs. And like I mean that so sincerely. He knows so much about bugs and it's so weird. And like for his like 31st birthday, I did this like safari park thing. So we like went to the San Diego Safari Park, shouts out, love them. And like we did like a whole tour and everything. I have never seen him like light up like that because he got to learn so much about animals. And I think like that is so cute and so sweet. And I think those are really green flags. I think when you find something that they really love and it's just something they've just always loved and kind of looked into themselves, I think that's really sweet. And it's a good indicator of like a good man, like a man who loves something purely for the love of the game, is not embarrassed about it, talks about it. I think that's a really cool green flag.
I love Pili. I don't even know. Okay. This is a good last one, I think. Wait a minute. There's two here. I'll give you the choice. Okay, one is, which celebrity do you think is the internet's most misunderstood person? That's one.
Okay.
The other one is, what's something women are constantly told they should care about that actually doesn't matter?
Ooh. Well, I'll answer the second one first because that's easy. What your body looks like. Yeah, like that's something that women are constantly beat over the head with about how important it is. It's really not. And it's like, and it doesn't, and with the right man, like it never matters. Like with the right man, it never matters.
And I get when it matters to you.
Yeah.
You know, matters to your own self. But I love what you're saying where it's like, you know, that's different than feeling like it's going to impede on your ability to have what you want.
Yeah, it's like, it's almost like I've talked about before, like my style really expanded and grew once I unpacked my internalized fat phobia. Because like there's this like hidden thing in your head constantly for women where you're like, I look fat in this, or I look big in this, or this makes me look big. And I feel like once I let go of that, which I didn't even realize I was consciously doing, my style just finally got there. Like I found the style that I really liked because I wasn't so concerned with fatness because it doesn't matter ultimately. So I would say like with women, it's how your body looks in any season of your life, like no matter what. It really does not matter at all. We're just convinced to think it does. And then most misunderstood celebrity, I've met quite a few of them.
Wow.
I'm trying to think. It would be a tie, I think, between The Rock and Chappell.
And why you think The Rock misunderstood? I feel like everybody love him down.
They do love him down, but I think
he
there's
should be
also
hated.
yeah more. No, I think like the perception of him is very like, he's just this huge like magnanimous person, which he is. Like that is true, but he cares very deeply about how people see him. He cares a lot about how he's perceived in terms of being a kind person and being a thoughtful person. He cares a lot about that. And I don't think that's ever forefronted for him. It's always like, he's just big and famous and huge and strong and whatever.
He's a symbol.
Yeah, exactly. He's like a figment of people's imagination. But he's a very real person, and he's a dad, and he's a husband, and he's a son. Like he's many, many things, I think, that are not thought of first when you think of him. And then with Chappell, yeah, she's also someone who I think is perceived to be this impervious, strong.
Now, what's impervious?
Just like indestructible. Like she's just she's so unaffected by a lot of things, which is, I think, true to an extent. But she is very shy and very
She gave
reserved.
me theater kid.
Yeah, she is. And she's sweet and she's nervous and she's like, she loves nature and she loves going outside and she loves being normal. And so I think like the way that they perceive and talk about her is also so wrong and like and ultimately mean. I think that's a lot of time. I think that about The Rock too. I feel like the way people talk about them so freely and openly is very mean. It can be very mean and it matters to a good person. And I've said this before now, and you know this too, especially I'm sure, to get to like a certain level of fame and notoriety. I've said before, it's either the best person you've ever met or the worst person you've ever met in your entire life. Like all celebrities are made, they're either one or the other. And I think it's because only the truest and purest of heart will survive, right? To some extent, or the most evil people in the world because they don't care about anybody. And so I think that's why like the two of them feel like very similar in that to me, where they're like really, really genuinely good people that have just been dealt an unbelievable and sometimes unfortunate hand. So
I love talking pop culture with you.
Me too.
I love talking you with you. I'm just so glad you came on the podcast.
I'm so glad you had me.
Joy.
You are a hoot and a holler. And I do have to say before we leave really quick, back in the day when I was big on TikTok and I used to really people up on Twitter. I just have to tell you, I told myself I would tell you this if I ever like got to sit and chat with you.
I'm nervous.
No, but like there was a time where someone was being mean about you on Twitter. When I tell you, bitch, I was going to town and bat for you. I'm not kidding. I have never seen hate like that in my life, and I was fighting on the front lines.
Here you
for
go,
you,
because
girl.
they be having me in a headlock.
And I literally was like, I remember people going, "Wow, that's so funny. Drew's just defending Keke Palmer for no reason." It's just something because I was getting mad.
Because you see my heart.
Yes, because I was getting mad watching it, and I was
As
like,
a Virgo,
I can't.
we not perfect, but
no,
we try.
listen. And I
Let
was
us
like,
live.
well,
Let me
and
cook.
you wear so many hats, and I just have to say, like, you are an icon to me in many ways. But I just genuinely, I think you're incredible and I think you're amazing. And I do think you are one of a kind, bitch. And so I was like, I'm going to protect that precious jewel with my life. Listen.
Real recognize real. And I really mean that.
Yeah, I just had to tell you that because I was like, when I was on there, I was going to bat for you, bitch.
Girl,
Because I knew it. Because I knew you were amazing. And I was right. Because I'm psychic, because we're Virgos.
Because we're Virgos. Period.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. What an honor.
Hugs.
Yes, hug.
This conversation reminded me that so many of us spend our lives following rules we never choose. I love how Drew's shown people that it's okay to question those rules, to trust yourself, and to create a life that's true to who you are. And in that process, she's built a community where women lift each other up instead of competing with one another. Thank you so much, Drew, for being here and for reminding us that when we question the rules we've been given and trust our own voice, we don't just change our lives. We make it easier for other people to do the same. Like that Marianne Williamson quote. Yeah.